Oh, okay, now we're live. All right. Welcome to the Rotoscopers YouTube. My name is Mason, and today we have a super special treat, quite possibly even more special than yesterday's interview, because today on the air we have Sanjay Patel and Nicole Grindle, the filmmakers of Sanjay's Super Team, the new Pixar short that came out with The Good Dinosaur, which is out on video now, so you can check it out, get your video copy. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
All right. So, first of all, congratulations on your Academy Award nomination for Sanjay's Super Team. Must feel awesome.
Oh, it's totally awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. So when I saw The Good Dinosaur and I saw the short, I didn't know anything about it going in. I was totally blown away with the visuals, the color, the lighting, and the animation. But I want to hear it from y'all. How did you push the boundaries and the technology or the techniques for animation in Sanjay's Super Team?
Well, it started with having an amazing team of people who were able to understand from Sanjay that he wanted to push the envelope. Sanjay's used to working alone and pushing himself, but he didn't hold back with our team, and he painted a vision that frankly kind of scared people and then completely turned them on.
All right.
I mean, for me, the big drive, Mason, was the content that, of the story. And so in many ways, the heads and tails of the short are very sort of, familiar with Pixar in terms of what we've seen and maybe experienced before in terms of, the boy and the father and the sort of apartment. Going from there, I really, really, really wanted to take a departure, and I really wanted it to feel different than what we had seen from other Pixar stories, because this is a different story. And so because of that, I feel like we need to use different language. And again, it was all driven by the story in terms of the colors. The three colors are associated with the three specific deities. And in terms of that environment, again, it was all driven by the philosophy of the story. We really wanted to take the boy from a very finite space to a very infinite space. And I was just talking the team through all those sort of concepts. In terms of camera language, I wanted to take sort of traditional sort of Pixar camera language and sort of have that go through an sort of anime sort of camera sort of blender. And again, these are all the ingredients that went into our sort of shake, I guess.
Yeah, all right. So tell me more about color. How did that, because that was one thing that I guess impacted me the most about the short, because there's this contrast between the real world with Sanjay and his father and the world of the deity that he experiences with his imagination. And so how does color act into that? Is there symbology there, or?
Yeah, I mean, actually, it might seem silly now, but we were struggling so much with it, man. And it was really actually John Lasseter that helped us tremendously, because, I really, there was one of our sort of artists that came on early on, this guy named Kyle McNaughton, came up with this phrase, beige on beige. And that became our sort of keyword. Yeah, that became our keyword for the apartment. We just wanted no detail, no color, no interest, no visual interest, because that's exactly the reality of how me and my father and our family came to America. We just lost all the cultural richness of that country and that culture, and we came to a sort of small, soulless immigrant box. And we really wanted to demonstrate the contrast between that kind of, sort of this real humble space, and what you could kind of understand why the father escapes into his shrine and the boy escapes into his shrine, which was the TV. Mm-hmm. Those are the only sources of color. And then once the daydream occurs, we really wanted to have, since we were sort of withholding color, it really sort of set the stage for finally full color to sort of emerge and to sort of wash over the audience, as well as this little boy. But the mistake that we kept making was, I not only wanted the deities to be colorful, I also wanted this sort of the realm of the deities, also the environment, to be colorful. We had these sort of, waves of color that were like sort of drawn from the aurora borealises.
Right.
And that kept competing with one another. The characters were colorful, so was the background. And it was actually John Lasseter who helped us really come up with a way to make a difference between the backgrounds and the characters. And he suggested, he's like, why don't you stick with candle flame, this kind of golden, warm light for the color for the background. And that way your eye will be really attracted to the deities, because that's what we'll have these sort of jewel tone colors for them. And it sounds so obvious, but at the time I was pulling out my hair. So
wow, that's awesome. Cool insight. So I think, unfortunately, we only have time for like one more question, but for both of y'all, what do you want audiences to get out of Sanjay's Super Team ultimately?
Nicole?
Well, that's a great question. Because there's so much in it.
Sure.
For me, I guess what I love about it is two things. I feel for children of immigrants and their parents. I want them to see themselves represented. They don't feel that they have, from what we've heard from audiences, a lot of them have felt like this is the first time they feel they've been represented in an emotionally honest way. And then people from the dominant culture, I want them to see that the door is open to learning about different cultures so that they feel that, so those cultures feel less alienated and people in the dominant culture feel more excited to learn about new cultures.
Mm.
No, that's great. I totally echo that. I mean, the only thing I'll add to that is, for me growing up, it felt very kind of scary to be Indian, to be brown, to be different. I'm hoping that, a story like this that sort of presents protagonists of color and a specific sort of cultural background, I hope it just makes it cool. Bottom line for little kids, I think if it's not cool and if it's not, sort of normal, then they'll feel alienated. And I'm hoping, again, the short will go a long way toward making things feel normal, if not cool. So, and I think if it does, then, I don't know, I think it can create more of a level playing ground for kids that are foreign.
Well, it certainly was cool. And again, congratulations, you guys, on your nomination for the Academy Awards. And super excited about that. And thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us on the Rotoscopers YouTube. And you guys are awesome. I myself do a little animation. I'm studying animation. And so I hope to be where you guys are someday.
Well, that's great. Good luck.
Well, y'all should come visit Texas A&M sometime. That's where I study.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, you guys.
We're taking the time.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to end the broadcast, and I'll debrief you guys on the phone.